Welcome back to another episode of Honestly Kidding. And today has been a wild ride because I have one of my favorite people, my belly dance instructor, a fabulous mompreneur who I admire and I'm so thankful for because I was extremely late today and she didn't kill me. So thankful, Portia.
Super love you. I got you, girl.
I'm so excited and thankful to have you here. Her journey is nonetheless amazing. She's had some battles, but look at her today, looking fabulous. How are you
feeling? Hot mess express over here.
She was just saying she went from being like hot to a hot mess, but I don't think that's true.
It's true. You'll know one day when you become a mommy.
5 years from I'm not ready, but she does it all. You do it all. How does it feel like to do it all? Like, do you ever get like
stressed out, anxious, overwhelmed? Absolutely. Well, today I woke up at 6, fed the dogs, took the kids, got them ready for school, packed their lunches, made sure they had their iPads, everything for school, got the dogs to school, went to the gym, put on makeup, taught a class, and now I'm here.
Now she's here.
Yes. And that's just half of the day. Round 2 is pick up kids, feed them again, take them to their extracurriculars, dinner, bath time, homework, and then it's time to kind of wind down.
Or being a mom is like a full-time job.
Listen,
there's like a triple-time job.
It's the most rewarding and least compensating job in the world.
That is a good point to put it. Nobody puts it that way, but it's very true.
You ain't getting paid. You're like the CEO and the secretary of your home.
But you're making
and you're not making any money.
Okay.
It's like zero cash flow for that.
All right. So Portia has an amazing journey. Now let's go back to when you started, because you're a mompreneur now, but at one point you were an entrepreneur with a phenomenal worldwide, Mrs. Worldwide belly dance career. So how did that begin?
So I started taking belly dance when I was 23. I was a student at the University of Florida, and it just changed me. It was like my calling. I wanted to learn this dance. I wanted to share it with others. It gave me a sense of self. It helped me to see myself in a different light. And it was just meant to be. You know, when you find your thing, this was my thing. Although I didn't know how to do it. So I just had one problem. I wanted to be a belly dancer, but I didn't know how to belly dance.
How long did it take you to professionally, like from the moment you started taking classes to the moment you decided, hey, I could really do this and turn this into like my full-blown career?
So look, I was teaching fitness when I was at school. And so I knew how to be in front of a crowd. I knew how to, communicate, and I had personality. So what I did is I said, look, I'm going to hire the professionals and I'm going to teach the beginners. I'm going to do what I can do, to make it work. And so that's how Belly Motion started. I basically hired my teachers to, get the thing going. And I just taught beginners. And that's where I kind of developed my teaching format and just really blossomed into a belly dancer, really. And then through the years, an entrepreneur. As you learn, baptism by fire. You just gotta learn. Yes.
So Miami's is a huge community of kind of like a melting pot of culture.
Yeah.
So in that point when you opened Belly Motions, what kind of community were you trying to build?
So look, it was between New York, LA, or Miami. I wanted to move to one of those 3 cities. And I said, I'm in Florida already. Let me go south. I've been to Miami before. It's super sexy and warm. And so I took a gamble and I came down here. And honestly, the culture absolutely loves belly dance.
It does.
It's Latin, but it's also, South Florida's its own country. Okay, it's not part of the United States.
I agree.
It's like its own people. Just the weather, the style, the sass, the class. It's the perfect environment to bring belly dance to thrive. It's not like a small mid-town America, location. This is like hot is where it's at. So it was a great environment and landscape to start a belly dance company.
I joined belly dance a couple years after it was established. I was 15 when I joined, and it was because of my 15s, which was Arabian Nights. And at that point, I fell in love with the dance, and that's how I met Portia. And then it felt like such an empowering community. So was that your goal with Belly Motions, to create a community where women felt empowered, could come together any age, no matter what race, ethnicity, even gender? If a guy wanted to come and dance, why not? Was that ultimately your goal? We have had a few.
So look, the truth is, when I started taking belly dance, it just moved me in a way that was so impactful that I wanted to share that with others. I wanted to bring joy, movement, connection, creativity, and empowerment to other people, because that's what belly dancing did for me. So I went from wanting to join the Peace Corps and getting a master's degree.
I didn't know this
yes,
about you.
Hello.
Wow.
To I want to be a belly dancer and I want to share this art with others. And so my goal was really to bring joy. That's really what it was. Very organic. Listen, when you are real with what you do and passionate and you have good in your heart, it shines through. I was not there to make money. I was there to just spread the love, spread the joy. And then, of course, the money came, and the expertise and the experience and the entrepreneurship. But I kind of reverse things, if you will. So I had the passion, but I didn't have the business savvy. And so one kind of led the other.
So what did that teach you? Like throughout that time when you were launching Belly Motions, also, you have to tell me a story about how you came up with Belly Motions, because I don't know that. And I should have asked you this long ago, because I've always had it in the back of my mind how that name came to be. But outside of that, maybe let's make it a two-part question. The first part is, how did you come up with the name, which is super creative?
So Belly Motions, belly dance. And I remember I was dating someone, a boyfriend at the time. I don't know if you ever met him. Do you remember Sergio?
I don't know.
Did you ever meet him?
I don't know.
Okay, so he was a rock star.
Ooh.
He was in a rock band, super supportive, super creative. And he was the one that actually nudged me to jump ship from being a kindergarten teacher to opening Belly Motions. And so he was like, you're going to open a belly dance studio. You can do this. And I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to do it. And then he was like, you've got to. It's now or never. And I was like, okay. So he was the one that actually planted the seed and kind of made me jump ship from a career as a teacher to, an entrepreneur, business owner.
Go, Sergio.
Yeah.
Did he also come up with the motions part?
So he helped me come up with the name.
Okay.
I was like, belly dance with Portia, belly dance this, that. And he was like, what about Belly Motions?
That's
and I was
amazing.
like, I love it. So I can't take the credit for it. I've got to give credit where credit's due. He came up with the name.
Okay, so props to
Kudos
Portia's
to you, Sergio.
Ex-boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend.
Who knows? Now it's been a long time, but kudos to you, Sergio. I don't think I ever met him, but hey.
No, he has a tattoo of me from here to here in a belly dance costume.
Oh my,
we had a thing going on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I know.
What do you tell, you imagine, what do you
tell,
a new girlfriend or a new wife, or
like, don't do this.
Who is that? Hey, who is that? He
believed in me. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
And now he has your face planted in his arm for the rest of
Thank God
his
it's
life.
when I was young, before the jowls. Zooming in.
That's a good one.
Look at her. She's like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. This is what happens.
She did. But yeah, no, that's a fun one. I had no idea. Well, props to Sergio.
I didn't know we were going to go there, but at this point, I'm like,
hey, who knows?
Let me just tell the truth. I'm not going to act like I made up the name.
No, behind every successful business and every interesting story, there is something that, some little hidden unexpected thing. And Sergio happens to be one.
Kudos to him, because usually it's the other way around, where the woman supports the man. But he was really an advocate for me, and that was super impactful. So without him, I don't think I would have done it.
Well, thank you, Sergio, because you got me into belly dancing too, because you pushed Portia.
And all the other thousands of cuties that have come through the doors.
I know.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah.
And then I know you got to go and at some point be in Egypt and belly dance in different parts of the world. How was that experience? And how did that come about?
Super cool. So Egypt is like the main vein for Arabic dance, Middle Eastern dance. And so there's festivals there, there's workshops, there's, culture. So we would go every year. We called it the Caravan to Cairo. I would get a whole bunch of girls together, say, who wants to go to Egypt? We would go together,
That's amazing.
study the dance, watch the professionals, watch the famous belly dancers. We would get to perform. And so it was just this annual thing that we did. And I always say, what happens in Egypt stays in Egypt. So we were Sharmutas of the night. If you don't know what Sharmutas means,
I was about to ask you.
You got to Google it.
I don't know what that means. Do you want to say what Sharmutas means? Or
no.
hint? Or hint?
Like,
Use it in a sentence. I'm going to be like the spelling bee person. Can you use
look,
it in
I'm
a
like,
sentence?
I shouldn't have went there, and I did.
And you did. Now you have to
did.
use it in a sentence.
So, like, a very loose woman having fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know
Out
where
of
you're going with
control.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she used it in a sentence, and if you don't know what that means, Google it, because I will too.
So it was like an inside joke because we would go out late at night and just party and have fun and experience the culture. And this was before the Arab Spring, so things were a little bit more safe and a little
amazing.
less crazy. But so we would go every year. And then I got to perform, and believe it or not, I entered a competition. I was denied because there was no more slots. And I was like, thank God, because I hate competitions.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to do it. Sure enough, the day of the competition, they called me around 6 and they were like, one of the girls is sick. We have an opening slot. Would you like to compete? And I was like,
Yes.
yes. And so I ended up competing. I had no choreography. I didn't even have a song. And I won. I won the whole competition. And I just remember being like, what in the love of life is happening? Yeah. It was
amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
God. What a journey. And this was all
Yeah.
throughout your 20s, right?
I was 28 when
28.
that happened. So I was like 1 year older than you now.
1 year older than me now. Oh my God. What an amazing. Your 20 sounds like an adventure.
Living my best life in Egypt.
That was, because I think when I joined you, I think it was one of the final years where you were still doing with belly motions, Egypt, I think.
Gosh, I don't know. So it's a 20-year span of
Because I was
shenanigans.
I was 15. Oh, it was a long time ago.
13 years ago. So
13 years ago.
Yeah.
What year was it? I don't know. Like 2010,
we don't know. It's
2011?
All a blur.
About?
It's all a fun, happy
2010,
blur.
2011, yeah. And I know you did mention it, but I was so young. And my mom was like, you're not going to Egypt. She's
Probably a good thing.
probably a good thing at that age. And then, life just got in the way again.
Yeah.
And whatever life is,
Love it.
But for you, it's been a journey. How has that journey from, being an entrepreneur to now being a mompreneur shaped you? What would you say? What's different now outside of obviously having children?
It's a rite of passage. Let me tell you, when you become a mom, when you create life and give birth and raise a human, you step into a new realm and you never go back. It's something you can't buy, something you can't explain. It's just a miracle. But it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of work. And your ideology changes often. Your goals, your priorities change. And then there's this dance with how can I grow my business and achieve my entrepreneurial dreams, yet still be present for my family. It's a very, very hard dance to embrace. And I always say that, work-life balance, there's really not much. Sometimes you give more to your position as mom, and sometimes you give more to your position as business owner. And it's like a give and take.
Is there ever any guilt there?
Oh my God, mom guilt for
Mom
sure.
guilt? I've heard this around. I don't really understand because I'm not a
it's
mom
horrible.
myself, but I've heard of mom guilt.
Listen, there's mom guilt, there's business guilt. They can't have both of you.
Yeah.
They can't have both of you 100%. So you have to kind of divide and choose when you're going to put more energy into your business and when you're going to put more energy into your family.
And you were a mom like later on, right? And like,
Girl, if I could have waited till I was 80, I would have.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, people tell me, like, why aren't you already thinking about kids? I'm like, I'm 27. I want to have kids like when I'm like in my 30s.
Listen, I say, do you discover yourself, build your business. There is some advantage to waiting, but there's also a disadvantage that you don't think about, which is, I'm older now. And I may not see my grandkids because I waited so long to have children. So there's, it's like, darn if you do, darn if you don't. You can't win. I say roll with it, but I do say for women, I would wait till mid-30s.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a chance to discover who you are in your 20s.
Yeah.
I really don't think you really know who you are till you're in your 30s.
Absolutely not, yeah.
Who you really are, what you really want. So that gives you some time to implement that. 20s, you figure out what you want, who you are. 30s, you make it happen. But then you do have that biological clock because having children older comes with responsibilities and risks.
I've heard a lot of those. I don't know. In my case, it's just like I never was that person who was like, I dream about being a mom.
I was the same. I never thought I would be a mom.
That's
wasn't part of the plan.
That's where I've been all my life, and now I see people who have always dreamed of being mothers, and they are. And some of my girlfriends are phenomenal moms and becoming moms at a younger age. And I'm like, I'm so happy for them, but I just don't see it for me anytime soon.
I was the same way, girl. I never envisioned myself as a mom. I never was like, I can't wait to be married and have children. I was just constantly like, I can't wait to create a belly dance, dancewear line. I want to film another DVD. Yeah. Like that was what motivated me. Yeah. And so
very career focused.
Which comes with, criticism on both ends. Sometimes you're criticized for being too hard of a worker and too optimistic about your business. And then sometimes you get criticized for being a mom. It's like, you're just a mom. It's like, wow, as a woman, it's hard to win. You're either to this or to that. They want you to be in the middle, but being in the middle is really a wild ride.
Sometimes you have to give more of one side than the other because it's what life requires of you at that moment, I feel.
It's rough, girl. It's rough. If I could be a man,
you would be a man.
Take it.
Portia,
I would take it.
Do you tell it to your husband?
Are you like, knows. I want to be a man? My husband, he's been used and abused. I'm like, listen, it is Portia. What it is. I'm like, you asked me to marry you. I didn't ask you. You asked me, and you knew what you were getting into.
You knew you were getting the full package.
Strong woman. Yeah. Strong woman. So it's an interesting dance.
That's incredible. But you've had such a life journey, and that whole entire time span. From I know you've rebranded Belly Motions now. Yeah. And let's go back a little. Okay. What has been like what was like that moment where you were like, wow, what the most, let's put it as the proudest moment in your career?
Oh gosh. Well, look, I have to be honest. At this time right now, I feel super fulfilled, grateful, and energized.
That's amazing.
More so than when I did in the height of my career.
Yeah.
When I was on TV, magazines, touring the world, making six figures, I was all over the place and I didn't have a grounding. I wasn't grounded. I didn't really know. I didn't appreciate. I was jaded. But the last few years have really slapped me around, grabbed me by the shoulders and shaken me, which, included going through the pandemic, which we all did. Everybody went through this pandemic. Some of us, I think, suffered a little more than others, depending on our situation. But I went through some hard times. Pandemic hit, my husband was laid off. I had to close my studio. My son got cancer, then he got cancer again, and everything was turned upside down. It was hard. It was a hard time. Got out of everything, realized who am I? What do I want to do? You know, when you go through trauma, it's hard to feel.
Changes you.
It changes you. It's hard to feel powerful, sexy, beautiful. It's hard to be funny and bring light when you've been through so much.
Yeah.
And so it took me about 1.5 years, 2 years to get my mojo, flojo back. But I'm back.
Love you.
I'm back.
Your mojo flojo. I'm gonna hashtag that. Hashtag mojo flojo.
Mojo flojo.
Back.
I don't even know what that means, but you know, I was living in a hospital. We financially were struggling. My business was done. I was living literally in a hospital with a little 5.5-year-old going through high-dose chemo, showering in the hospital, literally living on a couch.
In the middle of a pandemic.
In a pandemic.
It's the worst possible situation you could be in.
It was rough, and I lost everything. I lost my business. I lost my womanhood. I didn't dance. I just stopped everything.
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was tough. So I came back and, you know, fought through that, and now I'm out of it, and I feel so grateful.
The best part of that, I will say, Leo is officially cancer-free.
My little boy's cancer-free.
So, and he is amazing. He is
My
amazing.
little sweet boy.
He is cancer-free. He fought like a champ. And you got your mojo flojo back.
My mojo back, which, listen, it's hard to
and
get out of
Belly
that.
Motions is back.
Belly
Better
Motions
than ever.
is back. Belly Motions is now, instead of a dance studio with a variety of instructors and classes on a physical location, it's now just me.
And an
And I'm
online
online.
platform.
So Belly Motions with Portia is the new branding, and instead of having a physical location, I rent space from a studio. I teach, I live stream, I record all my content. I'm out there for the world. And now I'm bringing joy globally through live stream, through on-demand classes. And I'm able to make women feel good through movement and through belly dance in a way that I was never able to before.
With a different perspective now.
Different
To life.
perspective. I'm telling you, like, the silver lining is, you know, when you're down, but know that you're going to get up.
I always say that, yeah, we all need money and everything's important, but yeah, one day you could be here, but tomorrow you could be here. You know, and that's what really shakes you. And I say, people who have had that, it's a different type of way of looking at life, you know, because, and not many people will understand that, because not everyone has gone through that. Everybody has had hardships, but at that level where you're here and then you're here, that's a whole other type of understanding.
Yeah.
Your perspective shifts. Things that used to be important to you aren't anymore, you know.
It's like a whole ideology shift.
Talking to you, it feels like what my mom went through when I was diagnosed, because it was at the mid of the financial crisis. Where
So 2008, 2009. Yeah.
2008, 2009. So I was diagnosed, and then she stopped working. 2 of the properties they had foreclosed. She didn't work for like 1.5 years. My dad lost his job as well. So it's like seeing
we're like
you and my mom channeling that. And it was like, you know, it's different as a caregiver, because when you're a kid, or when you're, you know, I always say as a teenager, going through cancer, you know it sucks. You know what it is. But I feel like as a parent, seeing your child go through that, and with other types of weight on your head, like, how am I going to feed my kid? Medical bills, all these things. Like, the job of a caregiver is really freaking hard.
It's rough. And when you're a mom, your mission in life is
that child.
Caretaking, delivering, nurturing, all of it. So you feel their pain, you internalize their pain. And it's tough when you see other parents struggling too, and when you see other children that you know are not going to make it. And it's hard to see that.
And you come across a lot through that. You come across a lot of people that you meet that, you know, are families going through similar situations that don't end up making it and don't come out on the other side of the wall. So it's heartbreaking in itself because there's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, when Leo was going through his cancer, I did what I always do, which I wasn't aware of. Mm-hmm. I help others. And that's what I do with belly dancing, really. Mm-hmm. My ultimate goal was to bring joy and movement and empowerment to others, just how belly dance did what it did for me. So when Leo was suffering, oh my goodness, I was raising funds. I was helping kids get to Disney. I was providing resources for parents. I was like just a jack of all trades.
A solo foundation.
I was a momcologist, so to say, raising money for kids, like helping with research. I mean, I dove in 100% and became that momcologist, that, you know, supporter, advocate for other parents, for children. But it was draining.
It is draining.
It was exhausting, and I was 100% vested. I think I raised like $200,000 and sent kids to all these wonderful places, like donations and gifts and you name it. I did it, and it was very rewarding because I wanted to give back, but it was draining. And I became part of a club that, you know, was surrounded by pain, suffering, and
that hits your mental health massively.
Listen, it sucks you down. It's hard to feel positive when you know someone's suffering.
When you're around so much pain and living your own pain, it is hard to see that little bit, like that little bit of light. And it almost feels like you're drowning.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, from your perspective as a mother, it's completely different than when you're, you know, from your perspective as a patient. As a patient, you're focused on, you know, getting the treatment, getting healthy. That's all you're focusing on. It's hard. And then the aftermath of that is, you know, how do I get back into regular? But as a mom, you are trying to not show your kid that you're afraid of the outcome, while in the midst handling everything that comes with the responsibilities of motherhood.
Trying to put on a face.
That's
a strong face, and you know,
that's
Leo.
hard.
I remember one day he said to me, "Mommy, why did God give me cancer again?" And I was like, it hit me so hard, and I'm like, Papa, I don't know why. I'm like, but you have a story, and we're going to do our best, and I'm here with you.
No, he's a testimony from God, from the Lord, you know, from you guys. Yeah. And I think the support system and you being there 24/7, having his family be there is a whole different experience. Yeah. I don't think anybody can go through something like that alone.
It's rough.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it does take a village.
Nobody can go kid, adult, you know, teenager.
And I had wonderful, the kids' school, the St. John Newman community, they really helped because my daughter was 4. And it was the middle of Meliha, and it was the middle of the pandemic, so she wasn't allowed to come to the hospital, and I had to live there.
And she's
so
even
this
smaller.
Poor little girl, she had to go live with friends and be picked up, you know, after school by her classmates' moms, and they were so graceful and so loving for her. But it was really challenging for her. If anybody was affected, it was my daughter. And I didn't even realize that till it was over.
Because all your attention was on Leo. Correct.
So it's sometimes when we recover from things that we see where the damage really was done.
Do you see now that there's been some time after, have you seen that change in her?
Look, we saw a big struggle with her once Leo was done. She had invisible child syndrome, like she was second, she wasn't as good. She wanted to have cancer too, so that she would get all the presents and all the parades and the shirts and all these, you know, wonderful supportive things. So in her little mind, having cancer meant that you were
getting attention.
Praised. Yeah. And so now I think she's turning 7 this week coming up, actually. I think she gets it more. We did a lot of talking with her, a lot of healing, and now we're on our way to, I would say, kind of, washing our hands of that. I think she's fully gets it now and understands that it wasn't her fault and that it wasn't a great thing and it was no one's choice. But it's been a long journey healing that little girl.
My mom always said that having gone through that with me gave her an extra, like a deeper bond with me at a level that no one's ever going to understand. Do you feel that?
Yeah, me
that
and
you
Leo,
have that with Leo?
We have a little bond because I was there with him and I would jump into bed with him and we'd watch, certain little TV shows.
Yeah.
I was with him through it all, through the nitty gritty.
You were his best friend.
I was his best friend, but I was also his biggest enemy in a way because I was the one who had to hold him down, and I was the one that had to force him to take meds and get him focused to do it. So it was like, this person who I love is making me do something that hurts. Why?
So now let's talk about a little bit something happier because now Leo is cancer free.
Good stuff.
We're
moving on.
Portia's had such a phenomenal journey. You've had a phenomenal journey from the moment you started Belly Motions to, the hardships you've had, but have made you who you are today. What would you tell, somebody who was going through your situation? What is the biggest piece of advice you would offer somebody in that situation?
So someone that's going through a big traumatic event, could be health, financial, it could be anything. The pain is real. Feel it, be with it, but try to see that this will end and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
What helps you mostly with your mental health? Because I feel like now you have such a great outlook on life and you're such a strong woman all around. What helps you with your mental health?
So I have a therapist. I think speaking with a therapist weekly helps you to see things in a different light. It helps you hear yourself and what you're really feeling and be aware of where you really are and what your challenges are. Also, taking care of yourself. When you're a caretaker, when you're going through traumatic experience or pain, you tend to just be in survival mode. So your body goes on autopilot and you don't take care of yourself. So when you're done with all of this, you have to take care of yourself and really heal mentally, physically, all of that.
Do you feel like you've done that now?
I'm healing now. Like when I go to the gym, I'm like,
amazing.
I'm here at the gym. I'm so excited because it's such a privilege.
Yeah.
From living in a hospital, not being able to leave, to, I get to take this 1 hour, hot yoga class for me. Yay. So doing things for you, even if it's 5 minutes a day, making the time to connect with you and say, it's not that bad. What goes down goes up. I'm going to get out of this.
I'm so glad you mentioned therapy because there's such a stigma around therapy or going to therapy. I know for some people it's a scary situation, but I feel like it's such a great thing to have and a resource if you need it.
Having a professional therapist, someone who is trained and, qualified to give you advice is highly recommended. It's almost like having a life coach in a sense. Talking to friends is great. I have my best friends. I tell them everything. And it's good to vent, but having someone that is educated in mental health really can be beneficial in your healing, in your growth, and also while you're going through your traumatic experience, having that advocate in your side. So I'm a big supporter of having a therapist, talking it out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can't do this alone.
You really can't. Yeah. And I think it's so important what you're saying. I think those 5 minutes for yourself, having that support from a professional licensed therapist, but also really just focusing on you. Something so simple as that, I think we forget to do, even on a day-to-day.
I believe women have a hard time taking care and loving themselves.
Yeah.
We love our pets, our boyfriends, our husbands, our jobs, our kids. But do we really stop and physically feel and love ourselves? I'm going to speak for myself. No, not really. It takes a lot of effort to stop and think, thank you, body. Thank you, Portia. You're doing amazing. I love you.
Give yourself credit where
Give
credit is
yourself
due.
a shout out, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to do. And so it's funny because we did a yoga class this morning and they were like, it's very getting in tune with your body
Yes.
and meditating and
I love
breathing.
yoga.
And so you have to just be with yourself. And a lot of us, we're not with ourselves. We're taking care of everyone. So it's nice to be with yourself, love yourself, try to tap into that. Yeah.
I did a yoga kind of retreat, but it was different. It was a yoga meditation retreat. And it was, how meditation, they usually be with yourself, but a lot of people meditate because of pain, to get away from something. This meditation was finding a way to meditate, but through joy.
Okay.
So focusing.
That would be eating for me in a quiet room. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So it was interesting because a lot of people think meditation is just this.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. If you need to lay down to meditate, if you need to eat while you're eating, close your eyes. And
listen,
that's a
belly
meditative form.
dancing is meditation.
Yeah.
To me, meditation is taking a moment and leaving all of the drama at the door, being with yourself, focusing on something, whether it's eating, talking to a friend, dancing, reading a book, breathing, and connecting with your diaphragm, because you're giving yourself a break.
Yeah.
You're pausing all the noise and you're giving yourself a moment to just be.
And I agree with you. There's so much more to that, because for me, for so many years, I tried to get into the practice of meditation where I would try this and my mind wouldn't just shut off.
I'm like, what am I going to wear tomorrow? What's got to be made for dinner?
It doesn't work for me. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. So it was like, how do I learn to connect with myself, my emotions, be one with myself? But I'm not.
You have to find your medium that works for you.
This isn't the only way.
Yeah.
So for me, dance is one of them.
Absolutely.
Dance is definitely one
There's
of them.
Yoga, there's dance, there's people that play pickleball.
For me,
whatever.
movement is... I would say
healing.
movement is my meditation.
Yeah. So the good thing about movement is that there is science behind that.
Yeah.
Endorphins, increasing your heart rate, your breathing rate, things start moving. It's great for your mind, your cognitive abilities, keeping your brain learning. So movement, I'm a big advocate for movement as a form of self-love, meditation, feeling good, connecting, all of that. And with belly dance, what I love is that you make friends too.
Yes.
So it's communal, right? Like you're like with some other people.
Listen, Portia do you remember the video where you went viral and you were 9 months pregnant with Leo?
God, how can I forget?
Who would?
My one viral video, like 50 million views. You'd think I looked sexy.
Portia was
Look
about
at this
to
beautiful
pop.
dancer. Nope, 9 months pregnant, about to pop. Great.
You were about to pop. In my head, when
I gave
saw
birth
you
2 days later. I did pop.
I didn't even know. In my head, I was like, is that... Can a woman do it? It's amazing what the human body could do.
Yeah.
When I saw you dancing with Leo, 9 months pregnant, like it was almost like
wobbling with Leo.
But it still was an amazing dance, and you went viral. I was like, of course she's gonna go viral.
Look,
this woman's about to pop.
The funny thing about that is that was my last day of work.
Oh my goodness.
I was about to go on maternity leave. I was exactly 9 months pregnant. And I was like, let me perform. Let's get a video. I didn't know if the baby was a boy or a girl. I wanted to document. It was a special time. Let me document. This is what I looked like. This is me dancing. I wasn't even going to film it. It just randomly happened. And so it was It wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to get a viral video. I don't think I posted it till like a year later or something. The baby had already been born.
And all of that. Meanwhile, the video's still going on
Still
social,
going
over 50
on.
million views.
I keep
Portia.
getting ding, ding, ding.
Nobody's
I'm like,
done it.
what is this?
And the funny part is nobody's done it or been able to recreate what you did.
I think I was one of the first.
You
and
were.
It wasn't intentional. It was just an organic moment of, I want to capture what I look like pregnant. I want to perform for my baby so I can show him or her. Here's your mom. You know, now I show Leo. He's like, ew. I'm like, great.
But you probably show Meliha. Meliha is like,
no, Meliha's like, heck no, I don't want kids. I'm like, oh, great. I've done the opposite of what I was intending.
Traumatized you children.
Traumatized the kids.
No, but that video is so insane.
And millions of other people, for that matter.
No, that is such a crazy video. Anybody who ever doubts a woman should just look at that video and be like, wow.
Yeah. Look, it's super real. You know, it's super real. That's what women look like. That's what our bodies do. It looks different.
It's
true.
honestly amazing. And now you are going viral with your new online methods and platform for belly motions.
Viral. You know what it is?
Your audience has grown tenfold.
Is growing. Yeah.
And you're reaching so many people, which is amazing because now you're empowering not just a community here, but a worldwide
See, that's
community.
what it goes back to. When you love what you do and you really bona fide believe and feel your ability to help others, it's just real and it just goes viral because it's so real. Like, I know people spend time doing reels and they follow all these protocols.
You don't.
You know, I'm like,
you just film yourself and post
I'm like, here's
it.
me with sweaty armpits. What do you think about it? You know, with the intention again of like bringing joy, making people laugh, showing them how to dance. And so it worked for me.
Do you use any special equipment or no? You just pop the phone and
have you seen the videos? Some of them are so blurry. I'm
and
like, for the love of life, people still watch. I'm working on it. No,
listen, that just shows you that
I'm working on it.
No, that just shows you that if you're good and you're good at it, you have a good skill.
Sometimes you just have to have the it factor and the love and a talent. You know, and I have that.
You don't need an expensive setup.
I don't have an expensive setup.
Portia just does her thing.
I just do my thing.
And people connect to that.
I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid now to say how it is. And I don't think I ever have been. I've always been a little...
you're more vocal now.
I'm very vocal.
Do you feel that you're more vocal now?
I'm more ostentatious, a little gregarious. I've always been, but I think once you become a mom and you deliver a baby, nothing phases you. Like I always joke, I'm like, I could get attacked by a shark, hit by a truck. It's okay. I gave birth without meds. I can handle it. You know, like I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. It gives you this, I feel like it's God's way of saying, look, this is going to hurt. It's going to blow your mind, but now you're ready to be a mom and to handle the drama.
You are handling it, I mean, like a pro, even though you feel like probably on most days that, you're going crazy. Here, I am 27 and I walked in through the door complaining about my crazy morning and Portia's like, I've had a crazy one too and I'm not complaining. That just shows you the level of...
Listen,
but it shows you the level of experience.
Necessary. Get it out and then move on.
Yeah.
Give yourself a hot minute to be like, and then clean it up and move forward.
Clean it up and move forward. I'm going to clean it up, throw it out, go for it.
That's it. It's okay to feel it. Feel it. Understand it. This sucks. I'm late. Da-da-da-da-da. And then it's time to just solution. My thing is like, okay, next, solution. But what's the solution? People complain, but what's the solution? Like, I don't have time. But what's the solution?
Yeah.
And if you think that way, you give yourself a moment to be human,
That's
to feel
advice.
pain, to feel anger, to be upset for whatever it is, anxiety, I'm late, oh gosh. But then it's like, okay, it's over, move forward. Don't let it ruin the rest of your day because now you're really not productive.
No, I even told you. I was like, I'm so sorry, but you have to reschedule, please.
No, I was like, kids, you're going to aftercare. I got an interview. I'll be there when I get there. See? Work, kids. Today, kids, you got to stay in aftercare.
But, you know, like, I appreciate you being here and taking the time because, like you said, when you have kids and stuff, like, you feel like, okay, I know I have to be there. I made this commitment. Yeah. But, you know, it wasn't because of you. It was because of me. So part of me feels guilty because other things didn't go.
Listen, when you if you do have children, you do start to value and respect other women more so than ever. When you see and experience what it's like being a mom, the late nights, the constant attention, you know, saving them when they're sick, being available no matter what, it's trying, and it gives you a very fuller appreciation of what women are capable of. And I'm not saying men aren't capable of it, but women give birth, women breastfeed, women raise the children.
Preach.
It's true. Men help, and they have a significant role. But ultimately, it's the woman who is the leader of that journey, if you will.
Yeah. No, and, you know, and 9 times out of 10, even when you can't be with your kids want to be with you.
Yeah.
I feel, right?
Yeah.
Because that was always me. My mom would be working and I'd be like, but why can't I be with my mom?
I love your mama.
Yeah,
I love your mom. How is mama?
She's good.
She's a hot tamale, that one.
I feel like she's going to be...
blondie with her sassiness. I love her.
You remind me a lot of her all the time.
I love
her. Through her stages in life. She has a similar story to yours.
Yeah.
She's just older.
We can definitely probably connect on that level.
100%.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward most to now that you're in this new stage of your life?
So, believe it or not, now I'm looking forward to monetizing, but keeping a schedule that works for me.
And what does that look like?
Which is pretty tricky to do, but once you build your brand, you build your clientele, you've got your talent, you've got your ducks in a row. This is the beauty about getting older. You make it work for you.
Okay.
It's sustainable now. So now my goal is to make more income than I was making when I was like a chicken with no head, managing 15 employees.
When you were me.
You know, yes, pretty much. Running around all over the world, exhausted, you know, sleepwalking, not sleepwalking, but just
on autopilot.
Autopilot. Like you said. Super busy, super successful, but not in the moment, not enjoying it. Exhausting my body, exhausting my mind. Now my goal is to make more income than I made then, but work the hours that I want to work so that I'm sustainable, so that I have time for my family, so that I can get the best of both worlds.
So you really are seeking that work-life balance now.
That is my goal. So I turn work away.
Okay.
If it's not between 9 and 2, it's not going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you told yourself, from now on, I'm only working 9 to 2. And after
pretty
that,
much.
I was going to ask you if you were thinking about bringing back like a class at night, like once a week or something.
Nope.
Wow. Good for you, P, though.
Look at me.
No, but good for you. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. Because now you have everything recorded.
Listen, I taught at night for, 12, 13, 15 years.
Yeah.
Weekends, you name it. I remember the first 10 years of Belly Motions, I worked 7 days a week. 7 days a week. I loved it. I was obsessed.
It was your passion.
It was my passion.
To this day it is.
To this day.
Just you're prioritizing yourself.
Yes. I have humans now. So you have to be responsible for those humans. So point is, I want to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And I encourage women to work towards that. Yeah. Everybody's story and situation is going to be different. But if you set yourself up correctly, and if you really do want a family, and you still want to work and have your business, your talent, your revenue, your all of that power and access and control, if you will, you have to think about, how can I have both? How can I have both? And that has to really be your vision. You plan your work and work your plan.
I think it is so phenomenal to like have someone like you speak on this, because you went from, at a point in your life, having everything you dreamed of in terms of success to then overnight losing it.
Yeah.
Literally in all facets of your life, not just financially. So now fully rebranding yourself and having a raw story you can share, but still being really honest and authentic with who you always were,
Yeah.
And I think that's even more powerful. And those are the people I admire, because it's like what I've always said, it's really easy to be a peer and everybody loves you when you're a peer. But when you're down here, that's when you see who really around you.
Really shows up.
Who really shows up.
Who's got your back.
Who's got your back.
Yeah.
And then coming out of that is hard.
Yeah.
And then, who stays? Who goes? Like, you...
Pretty much everything changes.
Everything
it really
changes.
Does. It's a big shift.
It's a whole level of respect.
Yeah.
So for me, I admire people who go through that because I think it's a different type of understanding of life. People who have, had it hard, but then rebrand themselves and still come out successful at the end because it's very easy to just stay after going through something and being like, life sucks. I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't want to move on, But you didn't.
Yeah, I've always had that in me. I hope everyone can tap into that you can't give up.
Yeah.
I mean, until we die, you got a fighting chance. So make it work.
What a wild ride it's been for you. Yeah. And I'm so excited to see this new journey that you have coming up. And Portia, by the way, is on social media.
I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Do you want
TikTok?
Belly Motions,
which I'm like, I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok.
Belly Motions is blowing up. So literally, it's Belly Motions.
It's Belly Motions, so you can find me.
And then Portia Lang is her personal. I don't know if you want to share it personal, but...
Well, I used to... The thing is, I have millions of followers, so I can only manage one. I have a personal, but I haven't posted on that in months. I got to get back on it.
So focus on Belly Motions. You can get some great Belly Motions tip. And then to get us out, because we have to wrap, but Portia's been such a phenomenal
kids. They're in aftercare.
Portia's going to lead us out with a simple belly dance movement.
Oh, you want me to stand up?
Do it. Let's do it.
Sure.
Or you could do it sitting or
Wait, no.
Yeah,
we're going to stand up.
All right,
Get up,
let's
girl.
do it.
Okay, so this cutie has danced, so she kind of knows.
I kind of know, so we're going to do something.
Let's do figure eights.
Okay.
Feet parallel below the hips.
Mind you, I'm not dressed in belly.
Listen, you make it work.
Okay.
Tuck your tailbone, lift your chest.
I think we're going to film this way.
We're here. We got you.
All right.
We're going to start by sliding the pelvis side to side, shifting the weight. And now we're going to start twisting from the front to the back. Beautiful. Okay. This one's the Egyptian figure eight.
This is my favorite.
Super empowering. It's one of your favorites?
Yes, because when you're wearing a belly dance costume, it makes your hips look 3 times bigger.
Super empowering. This one's like, excuse me, coming through. What about the shimmy?
Oh,
the shimmy.
Okay.
Straighten the
shimmy. We're going to shimmy out.
Boom. Straighten the legs.
Straight.
Pump the knees. Rapidly. Back and forth. Release the thighs. Release the belly.
Make sure your torso doesn't move, right?
Belly. This can move a little bit, but the beauty is in the belly.
Is this?
So I call it jelly belly.
Okay.
That's the whole point. You're
Jelly
supposed to
belly.
Jiggle your wiggle.
And you've probably seen him
shaking and biking.
Because she's in workout attire. But this is a whole other movement.
I love it. Join
See you next time on Honestly Kidding.